Hello. Can you hear me? Please tell me you can. And see me. I mean, that is obviously the preferred result for both, from what I hear. Hi! Hi, Julie. Hi, Aso. Hi, Keiko. I mean, not Keiko's not here. But hi, everyone else. Keiko's definitely not here. That's not happening. Yay for seeing and hearing. This is Heather. I am sitting in for Allison at Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. Tonight is Freeform Friday instead of Fire Friday because I don't do as much fire as Allison does. And oh, thank you. Yeah, they really are doing a thing today, aren't they? Thanks, Keiko. So yeah, I did not have time to prepare a lot for tonight because I was informed last night during the sale that I am doing this stream tonight. So after stream, I'm going to send out the invite for Zoom. If you want to be on the list, please message us or post your email address or just ask in chat and I will get back to you and we'll figure out how to get you on our Zoom list. Otherwise, if you already are on our Zoom list, you're going to get an email after stream. Today we were too busy with just the two of us to do all the things. I did sit for a few minutes, which perhaps I shouldn't have done, but sitting is good. So today, by special request, I'm going to finish off this piece that I began the other day, or not the other day. It was the other day, but like a long time ago the other day. So yeah. Oh, soup cooks faster if you turn the burner on. Yes, that is actually something that even I have learned, but sometimes I have to learn it more than once. You are correct, Julie. That's a good tip and duly noted. So I did this seed bead S for our lovely Sam Human and Keiko. Sam Human sends hugs because they absolutely love their little gifts. And Sam turned it over and was like, Sam Human? Why is this labeled as human? So I explained Heather Human and Keiko Human and all that good stuff. But I am going to weave in the ends to this seed beaded loomed S that I made for Sam, so Sam can actually enjoy it. I believe there are plans to sew this onto a jacket, which would be very, very cool. So I just need to make it usable before then. And Sam Dog, definitely, but Sam Dog is rarely here at the Beading Dreams. Has actually been here back in his early days of existence. He wasn't even a year old yet, but he did come in and he met enough people and made enough friends to already be popular. He will always be popular because he's Sam and he's wonderful. So this is the fun, and by fun I mean not fun, part of duly noted and Julie noted. This is the tedious part. If you thought the looming was tedious, well, you were wrong. This is the part where I make all the ends not only disappear, but also help keep the rest of the piece held together. Sam Human was not a baby. I mean, hey, Lori. Sam Human was definitely not a teenager yet, but this wasn't that long ago. I mean, Sam the dog is not that old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave in these ends, and I'm going to do some of it properly and some of it not quite properly. So the proper way to weave in ends when you are doing a woven project like this and you have loose ends. So this is a particular problem with loom weaving, and it's not a problem, it's more of a challenge. So you end up with all of the warp threads just loose and hanging out. So what you want to do with the warp threads is you want to weave them, kind of sew them through the beads at kind of a stair-step pattern. So they are within the beads, but also not just going straight through. Normally, when I mean warp thread, who doesn't have a few loose warp threads, am I right? No judgment here. So when we do the flags, and a lot of you know that we have a big major project with flags, we glue those down into a base. So they don't really have to be perfectly woven. They don't have to be properly woven. They have to be quickly woven, because you don't want you want to weave them in enough so you don't have the ability for the beads to fall off, but you also don't want to take enough time to really do much correct. So I am going to make Sam's S usable for our lovely Sam. And so I'm using, for the actual bead looming, I used a size 10 needle. I'm going to use a size 12 needle for this part because a size 10 is a little big to go through the beads and through the beads and through the beads multiple times. So a size 12 needle is smaller, which means I can fit it through more times, which is of course the dream. So what I'm just doing is I'm trying to keep this on camera, but it's a little difficult because it's very shiny and it's very far away, and this is not actually super duper Premiere lighting. I know you might be confused by that because it looks super duper Premiere, but it really is not. And I have good eyesight, it's just these beads are shiny. And I'm lying, I don't really have good eyesight, but I never have trouble seeing because I have two very different eyeballs. One does up close really well and one does far away better. And both of them have astigmatisms because, you know, why be normal in any way? And I am also, you'll notice, weaving on the back side of the piece because you can see when the threads kind of carry over, and you certainly don't want to have those on the front of your piece. So I'm just taking each piece and I'm going a little bit through the I'm definitely skipping the talking is fun. I'm skipping going through the bead it's right next to and skipping one over because that makes it stronger, holds the bead on, and it makes sure that I'm not accidentally undoing my weaving of the beads. Streaming talking is very fun. So since I'm doing a fairly mindless project, if anyone has any questions for me, just let me know. I'm happy to answer. I sent 60 pairs of earrings, more than 60 pairs of earrings, off with Allison to her event today. Corvus got a picture. It was a lot. And Corvus, of course you're smart. And had a lot of fun making the earrings. I want to have more time. Time's cool. I mean, do you remember when you were a kid and had time and could just do stuff and make stuff? I miss that. I miss that like every day. So many beautiful earrings. And I came up with a cool idea for the name of the collection because I do want to keep making more. And tried to make an Instagram account for it. And it got 90% of the way through making the Instagram account. And then Instagram was like, oh, we can't finish this. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll just start over. And then they're like, nope, that name is taken. Yeah, I know, by me. You know, Corvus, I have found that audiobooks are the best. I used to not love them as much, but I think that was partly because I had tried poor narrators, because they didn't have, back when I first listened to audiobooks, when my dad was sick, he listened to a lot of audiobooks because his eyes just totally went. He couldn't really read at all. But he had 3 audiobooks that my Aunt Fran had bought for him. So he just listened to those. And so I've listened to parts of I, Claudius so many times. It's pretty hilarious. But there are some unbelievable narrators available now. Like people I like so much, I will hunt for their names and pick out books that way rather than picking out books I want to listen to, which obviously is, you know, a good thing. They're that good. So you see I'm getting this little fringe on the side. It's kind of hard to see because you've got white, but these are the ends that I've woven in, kind of stair-stepped down and come over. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. That's what I'm doing today. Oh goodness. Yeah, Julie, that is both important and one of the worst things that we should be doing. We should all know more about the history of what's going on there, and it is heartbreaking from one side to the other, and there's just really no, I want to find a good answer, and I don't know what that could possibly be. I also feel so bad for the people who are trapped in the war of their governments. I always feel bad for the people who are trapped in the war of their governments. So Sam Human did a drop-in visit today and did some cleaning, and then on their way out, said, I drew some smiley faces in the dust on the cars that parked in our parking spots and didn't ask if they could. And then sent me a picture that said, don't park in our parking space, please, with a great big smiley face all on their back windshield. Yeah, Julie, I get it. I mean, there are a lot of amazing people trapped in this. Because honestly, if you started out anywhere near there, you are in it whether or not you want to be in it. But yeah, that's my kind of vandalism, with smileys and only in dust, so it all comes off if they wash their car. Fail to see the downside. It was just with their finger. They should have a cleaner car if they don't want any messages. No. No, just finger on the dust on the windshield. So, is anyone else having trouble? Because oh dear. Is anyone else having trouble with skipping, or is that okay? Good. Then I will stop trying to fix that, because I think I'm more likely to make it worse than to fix anything. So is anyone doing anything fun this weekend? Besides Zooming with me? Oh, the Half-Life of Marie Curie. I have actually listened to that. I haven't obviously seen it, but I have listened to it, and it was really good. So please report back. And yes, Corvus is in full baby bear mode. Oh yeah, Clock's back. I do like Clock's back. I have to reschedule something on Sunday because I did not know I was going to Girl Scouts. But I'm going to Girl Scouts, so I'll reschedule the thing and it'll be okay. Oh no! It was about weekend plans, Keiko. Yeah, no one wants to go out looking like a plague monster on a day. I mean, I am rocking quite the zit, but we don't have to talk about that. Don't be jealous, y'all, is all I have to say. Another thing you want to watch out for if you are weaving in ends like this is you do not want to pull too hard, because if you did your looming correctly, then you won't have split your threads, which means that they actually can pull out one end, and you don't want that, because then you have a little shorty end to weave in on the other side, which makes things very difficult. But essentially, by the end of any loomed project, you end up with a shape that looks like a squashed centipede of some kind, or in the case of the flag pins, because they're semicircular, or kind of in a crescent shape at least, they kind of look like jellyfish. Registering for school. Tell us more, Julie. Well, don't break the thread, but also don't split the thread, but don't pull the thread too hard, because then you can pull the thread all the way through, because You know, if I've got my warp thread over here, I actually, can you see it pulling through? I don't want that. I've got my warp thread over here, I need it over here too. So you just want to make sure that you're being firm, but if you pull too hard, you will actually, if you did everything correctly on the first part of this project with the looming, then you can move your warp threads, and that's not ideal. But you see how I'm just stair-stepping across. You probably don't see because it's really hard to see, but I am stair-stepping across and coming out. So I'm going down a little bit and across and down and across and down and across. That would be really, that's right. That would be really awesome, Julie. And yeah, it's a lot. I don't know why doing things has become so much harder now than it ever used to be. Like the driver's license and registration saga in Texas continues because I don't understand. I don't understand the state. I don't understand what it has done to... They're fixing the website. I want to know what they think fixing means. I mean, Keiko, you don't want to break the thread either. None of those are ideal situations, but I'm less worried that you're going to break it, because it's pretty sturdy, and more worried that you could pull it out. And at some point, I'm going to turn this around and start going the opposite direction, because you don't have to do them all facing the same way. I have, so on a loom, you're going to have one more thread than you have lines or rows in your weave. So I think this is, so I have an extra line in this design. There should not be an extra line or 2 lines in this design. There should be 18 threads, but I think I do have 20 because I was tired when I was coloring for this project and deciding to do it. And because usually when I do freeform, it's because Allison is out of town, and it usually is rather difficult when Allison is out of town. Or sick, or just not here. It's hard when Allison's not here. She's too awesome and good at everything and knows the answers. So it's hard without her, but we do our best. Went pretty well today. And see, you should have nothing changing on the front side. Is that focus? Are you going to focus? Probably not. You're too shiny. It is a lot. It is actually a lot less complicated than it looks, which is good. And it's not difficult because you don't have to. The beads have giant holes compared to this needle. Giant. So it's like, once I find the hole, this is really sounding kind of dirty. I'm sorry. I don't mean to work blue this early in the evening. It's not even 7 yet. But yeah, you can just sort of gently poke until something happens. And try not to draw blood. You know, like life. And I may not finish all of this on stream tonight. We'll see. I still have to close up and get a couple of other things done. But I'm at least going to be able to give you an idea of... Yeah, I give up. I can't be clean on stream. That's just not a thing that happens. But you know what I don't have to do is I don't have to be here at Beading Dreams until 4 in the morning making 60 plus pairs of earrings. Because those, my opportunity is gone for now. I can post a picture in Discord so you can see. So yes, Corvus, this does have a lot of steps to it, but it is not, it's brainless steps. So we like brainless here at the Beading Dreams. Big fan. Because unfortunately for us, there are quite a few times when braining is not really an option. Like, no, we're done here. We're just gonna look over there, something shiny, you know. But you can see how it's kind of loose down here and I can pull it out. I cannot do that up here. And that's the dream. That's true. I mean, I'm not saying anything that is actually dirty. Just, we're really good at certain things, okay? I'm poking things. There are holes. It's just, it's a thing. I have very little control. I'm not making anything better. I'm dead. So because I'm tired and because I still have a lot to do tonight and I still have a long full day tomorrow and a long full day on Sunday and Monday, wow. That does make sense, Julie. I mean, if you're too heavy-handed with this, then you're absolutely going to stab yourself, and nobody wants anybody to stab themselves. That's definitely not the ideal situation. And I feel bad that I keep choosing freeform projects that I can't finish. Is that bothersome to you all or only to me? Please chime in. Let me know. A for effort. S for satisfactory. S doesn't just stand for Sam Human. So yes, this is going well. This is doing exactly what I wanted to do. It's getting all nice and strong. And yeah, it's gonna just be a labor of love, and that's what seed beading is. Yes, I actually, so Corvus, I do have Actually, do you want me to show you what I did with my metal clay? I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, so I have, this is going to be a very freeform, obviously. I'm glad to hear that you're wanting to get back in this studio again, Julie. That's good. It's hard. I fully understand. Trust me. Obstacles will obstacle. So these are greenware. They are in their fragile greenware state. They have not been sanded or fired yet. This is clay that I have formed, but it's about the strength of a potato chip at this point. So I need to be really careful. I did let it air dry because you get a lot less curvature and weirdness when you let it air dry. And my style is I do long pendant pieces. I usually get texture sheets and then I just cut the pendant pieces out of the texture sheet so they're all completely random and each one is unique, and I like that. I also got a whole bunch of new little stamps. So can you see the little fox? Can you see it? I don't know if it's focusing or not. I can't actually see past the ring light. Not really focusing well, but there's a fox and there's a rose under glass, and you've got an astronaut and a snake and a gem and a moon and Saturn and Jupiter and all kinds of awesome things. And these are something I started on a long time ago. These are actually a couple of years old. I formed the clay and all I have to do is clean it up and sand it and fire it. But these are white copper clay, and you can see why it's a little difficult to tell the difference, because this is bronze clay and this is white copper clay. You can see they're pretty close in color. So these I just need to clean up. Well, that's rude, Keiko. So these obviously are dragons, so I need to clean them up and sand them and fire them, because this is actually a commission piece out of the white copper clay. But the white copper clay, it actually fires at a higher temperature than bronze clay does, and bronze clay is 1540. I think white copper is something like 1610 or somewhere. It's 16 something. It's really hot. You cannot even use CZs in white copper clay usually, because I have actually used CZs successfully because no one told me that I couldn't. It was one of those nights where someone else was supposed to run Metal Clay Studio and Allison had to do an offsite thing. This was way back. Allison had to do an offsite thing. I needed something to work on in order to run Metal Clay Studio. And the only clay that we had was white copper. So I started making stuff out of white copper and I put some CZs in it, and I didn't realize that you couldn't fire CZs in it, and they worked fine. I think it was because of my ignorance. I'm not going to try it again because I'm no longer ignorant and therefore am probably cursed. But yes, I made 2 dragonses because hopefully one of them will work exactly the way it's supposed to work. And then I can do my project. But white copper clay, because it fires at such a high temperature, also tends to destroy the firing pan. So, I mean, one day we will have to have Allison bring on stream what a firing pan looks like at the beginning of its life, and what a firing pan looks like at the end of its life at Beading Dreams, which, boy, is quite a storied career at Beading Dreams, because white copper clay just tears up the firing pan. I mean, a firing pan is like a little metal box with a lid, and you fill it with carbon, and you do layers of carbon and then the clay pieces and then more carbon and the clay pieces, and it gives you a medium to help spread out the temperature evenly and to make sure that the clay gets the heat on all sides evenly, and it's really just a medium to make sure that the firing goes well. But after the box has gone through even one white copper clay firing, it kind of, like, the lid starts to look kind of like this, and then the box is usually fine, but the lid sculpts itself in lots of different ways, and that's not ideal. So I want to have a nice full kiln load of white copper clay. If we're going to ruin a firing pan, I want to at least get a lot done for it. So yes. And white copper clay is a nickel silver, so it fires a silver color. It's not quite the silver of silver, but it is definitely like a white color rather than a golden color. But you can't get embeddables, so you have to figure out, like, you have to drill holes, things like that. It's extra princessy, which apparently I like. So I know the pan is so sad. All right, so do you all want to sit here and watch me thread the needle and weave the ends in? Do you want to ask me more questions about things? What would you like to do? Because I at least have a few more minutes. What would you like to do? I don't want to get into sanding because I will get incredibly dirty, and I just don't have the time to set up a good... I can do that while I'm on stream one night, but not without protecting Allison's space, because metal clay dust gets everywhere. 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 I mean, you can, but we don't really... Keiko, we typically only have one firing pan at a time. We don't have multiple firing pans. Having one firing pan is... You can't mix other things with clay, but the firing pan is usually safe. Weave like the wind! I'm not going to be able to weave all of this. I appreciate your faith in me, but I need to sleep and do things. Eat, sleep, probably other things. So, yes, you definitely... We use the firing pan until it just will not function as a firing pan. And then it does go off to Valhalla while we get another one. But we don't have any that we buy for white copper clay. We just use the same sad pan until it's a sad panda, and then it goes away like things do. So, yeah. I think I'm going to cut this short just because I did stay here so late last night, and I will, I promise, post pictures of the awesome, I think, earrings that I did. And hopefully you will agree. What have I done there? That's a whole thing. How did I... got it. So I'll post pictures of what kept me up until the wee hours of the morning. Well, Keiko, we don't really choose the order of firing things usually. Since we offer kiln firing services, we fire what comes in the door to be fired. So right now we don't have too many people bringing in bronze clay or white copper clay, but we definitely do have people. We have one customer who brings in white copper clay fairly regularly, but we don't have like a queue so we could go, we'll get all the bronze done and then we'll do the white copper. We try to do that, but we don't know what's going to come in the door. Yes. Yeah, we really want Allison to sleep as well. That would be amazing. We like that quite a lot with the things and the stuff and the... She ate, or she at least had the ability to eat, because I ordered her gluten-free pizza and I handed it to her because I asked her if she wanted... This is how Allison left today. I asked her if she wanted a gluten-free pizza. She said that would be great, cheese and tomatoes. And I said, okay. I think she was expecting, she didn't eat it all, then I would then be able to eat that. And she came in, because she just had to drop by the store to pick up something and drop something off. Came in. White copper customers should provide their own pans. Well, we do actually have a higher firing charge for white copper clay because it does eat up more consumables. Because firing pans are a consumable with white copper clay. They are a bit with bronze clay as well, just because the firing is so hot. If you're doing sterling or fine silver or things like that, it's not nearly as hot. You can use the same firing pan, and I'm sure people who do a lot of work with silver clay are like, what do you mean you have to replace your firing pan? Like, well, there's a thing. But yeah, she came in and the pizza was here, and I said, there's pizza in the back, and she didn't hear that at all. So she came in and she whooshed around and then she left, and I was like, Allison, pizza? And so I went in the back and I grabbed her pizza, and I knew she was heading to the bank, so I chased her down the sidewalk and delivered the pizza to her in the bank, so I know that the pizza got to her directly. And I told her that I thought about putting it on the top of her car, but she and I have a very funny story about pizza on the top of the car, because there was one night that we were here, she and Arun and I were here late for a trunk show, and Arun had ordered pizza, and I had a box of pizza to take home. And hi, Silvern. Oh, Silvern, you missed this, so I show. Dragons. They say hi. So I had a pizza to take home, and pizza boxes are unwieldy, so I put it on top of my car and stuck the rest of my stuff in the car, and then got in my car and started to drive off. And Allison and Arun were in the car behind me and watched me as I left the parking lot with the pizza on top of my car. Did not notice that there was pizza on top of my car as I started driving, but as we got like 2 blocks down the road, suddenly there was a pizza in the middle of the street, and Arun's like, where did that come from? So we just don't have the best luck with pizzas on top of the car, so we try to avoid that when we can. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry for bugging out early / kind of on time. I have a lot to take care of, and there is no Allison this weekend, and we're understaffed and sleep is good, but I will post a picture of all the earrings that I sent out the door with Allison, that I stayed here till it wasn't 5 a.m., but it might have been a little close to 5 a.m., maybe a little bit. But I did them. I did over 60 pairs of earrings, and they look kind of amazing, I think. They are more assembled than they are handmade, but they're still shiny, because there was also a price point I was trying to stay within. So my challenges given: Elizabethan event, get as period as you can, while keeping within a very tiny budget or price point. So challenging, but I think I did okay. I mean, they aren't perfect, but I think I did okay. I am also about to go send out the Zoom email, so you will all get that with the link for tomorrow night. We hope you will join us for the Zoom tomorrow night. I am looking forward to it. I will be done with all of the time-sensitive things, and if I fall asleep on camera, you all will just go on without me and entertain yourselves. And I know that that's how that goes, and it's wonderful, and I love you all. And thank you so much for being with us today. My name is Heather. I am here from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. We are a brick and mortar retail bead store, and we are open for business Tuesday through Saturday. Tomorrow is an early morning for me. I don't usually come in at 10 a.m. That's usually Allison, but Allison is not here, so it's me. And so I've got to close up tonight and finish up some things before I leave, and then hopefully go home and have a nap, and then be back here first thing in the morning. And I will be on Zoom tomorrow, and I hope to see your lovely faces there too. So good to see all of you, and we'll see each other again very soon.